People who don't get stressed during a presentation, school or work. What's your secret? Preparation. I know that may sound like a cheap answer, but that's honestly my best hedge against anxiety. I don't remember the people that bombed presentations because those aren't formative memories. No matter how much I bomb this presentation, no one will remember in a month. Especially since they are stressed about their own presentation. I used to get super nervous before any sort of public speaking event. Shaky hands, sweating, nausea, the whole 9 yards. Eventually I landed a job as a corporate trainer. I was desperate for a job and dollars, so I just had to get up in a room of 30+ people every day and present the training material and answer questions. Honestly, I just pretended I didn't care and faked it till I made it. Now, it actually doesn't bother me to speak in front of a group. If this is a challenge that you are facing, maybe look into local public speaking groups such as Toastmasters. I always loved speaking in front of people. Got a rush out of being the center of attention my whole life, so I always stepped up to be the designated speaker in all group projects. People loved that I would always volunteer for that part, so they always wanted me in their group. For something that I haven't seen posted yet. Know what you have to say is important. Tell yourself that you know what you are doing, and that other people need to hear what you have to say. I've attended several research conferences. I notice the boomer-aged presenters just DGAF and read directly from cards without looking up once. If it helps. It doesn't really matter if you are a subject matter expert with several dozen peer-reviewed papers. Or a student. I think most people get nervous speaking in front of crowds. Just remind yourself that it's okay. Public speaking doesn't bother me if I know the material really well. Know what you're talking about and you'll be fine. Don't be afraid to not know something too. If someone asks you something you don't know, just say so. It helps me thinking that other people, including the audience in front of me, isn't perfect. So why should they expect me to be so? I am doing my job to my best extent and think myself. Deal with it. But things in perspective. What will happen if you fail or don't do insanely good? Nothing. Your life is not in danger. There will be food on your table. You might waste same time, but if you are reasonable prepared, the consequences are small and you can only disappointed yourself. I just try to remind myself that everyone else in the room would be just as nervous as I am. Honestly, just remembering that most likely no one is paying attention anyway, especially if it's school. I'm vain and I love attention. How I handle boring shit, that's where the neuroses are. Just inflate your ego. Think the listeners are stupid and won't notice any mistakes. Sounds rude, but works. It can help if you recognize those physical symptoms. Tight chest, sweaty hands, or whatever it is for you. Not as something is wrong, but rather your body preparing you for something important. Your stress response isn't as scary if you know it's there to help you be a badass if something scary shows up. I remind myself that everyone in the audience is rooting for me. Nobody wants me to bomb, they're all on my side. The worst that'll happen is that people won't be paying attention. And people who aren't paying attention are easy to talk at without getting stressed out. I get so stressed before the presentation that the actual presentation comes as a relief. I just say, fuck it. What happens happens. It helps that I have enough self-confidence to either do well in something or make up for it later. The make up for it later part is key because you can be a bumbling idiot and still ask, what do I need to do to make up for this? And then do it as they told you to do it. Edit. I missed the key word. Presentations. But my point stands because, as someone else said, People are only worried about messing up their own presentation. They won't and can't remember yours within a couple weeks. No secret. It's just never been something that put me on edge. I get that anticipation anxiety. Stomach in knots and sometimes on edge. But I know it's just anticipation and it rolls off my back. I just pick one person in the audience to speak to. I pretend that person asked me to explain whatever I'm talking about. It usually helps if the person is already a friend or someone I find attractive. I find it easy to talk confidently about a particular subject to a friend. If I choose an attractive audience member, I speak like I am on a date. I enunciate more clearly, not afraid to sidetrack to smaller subjects that help explain the broader subject in turn. And I have motivation to impress them. All of this being said, this does not mean I only make eye contact with the one person. I treat it like I'm coming in to have a conversation with people. Reframing it takes away a lot of pressure for me. I also sometimes treat it like a role-playing session. I am this confident, laid-back person who has no worries about presenting in front of a big group. Much to my surprise, this works and fuels my imposter syndrome. I realized that getting all anxious actually causes me to underperform. So I knocked it on the head. It's pointless being anxious about that stuff. You can only do what you can do. Get thrown on the stage at age 5. Do years of theater and music performance. Partially it's that I don't particularly care what anyone thinks. Yes, even bosses. Partially it's that I don't try to resist doubts or negative feelings but instead let them pass. And partially it's because I have a very non-standard understanding of emotions that I got from a TED Talk. https www.youtube.com/watch v = 0 gks 6 ceq 4 eq. I have absolutely no stress talking to large groups, small groups, colleagues, strangers. My secret. I've done it a few hundred times. Exception. Children. You have to just rehearse, and also put yourself in more situations. Knowledge. I can talk all day about sometime I know about. If it's something I'm not knowledgeable about, then I make that clear up front and tool the season as more of a discussion than a presentation. I think like everything else. You just need to practice and get used to it. After some time it will just look normal. By realizing that if I totally bomb, my heart won't stop beating. The earth won't stop spinning and life will continue on much as it always does. Prepare. Deliver your part in front of the mirror. Then to one person and then to 2. Watch your pace and volume so you can be heard and understood. If you write your own part, all the better so you can speak naturally. By the way, it's okay to be scared. Forgive yourself for that and take a big breath. Smile as you exhale and begin. I'm an extrovert. And naturally, I annoy people a lot. So they don't listen and I have nothing to worry about. Honestly. Practice. I worked as a program facilitator at a summer camp for 4 years. And in a job like that, you have to present all the time. After a week or two of presenting info to large crowds 5 to 10 times a day, you start to find your voice and become a lot less afraid to use it. I'm sure it's a very similar experience for teachers, lecturers, speakers, etc. I did bad stand-up comedy at writing camp when I was 15. Everything pales in comparison to that. Just GNNA upvote and save for the next time I'm stressed, thanks all. Go first. You set the bar for everyone else, then get to sit and relax. Watching them motivational videos the night before and just remembering them minutes before my turn. Lol. Just remember that no one is really paying attention. And most people will completely forget about it 1 or 2 classes later. Unless you really mess up. Just pretend in my head that everyone glorifies and loves me. Is that snickering I hear? Must have been from the joke I told 4 slides ago. I am a very confident and chill dude. I do all the presentations in class. I used to be a shy guy and then someone gave me some advice that changed me a lot. The key to being confident is to fake it forever. Very wise man will never forget it. How I don't get stressed. Ever. Here it goes. Is there a problem? No? Equals no stress. Yes, there is a problem. Can you fix it? No? Equals no stress. It's out of your control. Yes, you can fix it. Are you going to fix it? Yes, you are. Equals no stress. No, you aren't going to fix it. You made that decision. Therefore, no stress. Everyone is bored and wants to leave. Nobody is probably even listening to you. I've been on a Zoom meeting for 37 minutes and haven't listened to a single word. How you prepare is key. Don't write a word-for-word speech. Develop your presentation in the form of questions that you can answer. That way, when you get off of your plan, or have a question pop up that you didn't explicitly plan for, you're already in the mindset of solving a problem rather than reciting a speech. It allows you to pivot and improvise much more effectively. Not sure if this has been said, but remember, the people you're talking to don't know what you're going to say. So if you say something wrong, it doesn't matter. They don't know what was correct. Say fuck it and just get up there. I have fun, dance around and joke with people in the front row. It lightens the mood and people's expectation of you lowers. Having given hundreds to perhaps thousands of presentations over the years, it's impossible to be stressed out about something that you do often enough. I've had a stutter since 3rd grade. At this point in my life, age 26, public speaking is really no big deal for me. I think it's a combination of some pretty intense speech therapy, involving starting up conversations with strangers in the Boston Common, and already living out some of the worst-case scenarios of speaking in front of a crowd. I thought I was scared of public speaking until I had to do this one assignment. As a generally quiet guy, I thought getting up in front of people and saying stuff was the last thing I'd want to do. However, a switch flipped in my brain at the perfect moment. Just before beginning, I realized that everyone had to shut up and listen to me and let me explain all those many thoughts that rattle around in my brain. Think of it as an opportunity to get something off your chest. You don't owe the audience anything. They're getting something from your cathartic rant. Preparation and my theatrical training. I used to want to be an actor, dancer, singer, so I did a lot of that in middle and HS. So it doesn't bother me when I have to present something to a group of people. I will take any chance to perform, even if it's something as boring as presenting a 15-minute slideshow on why MSDSs are fucking important. Just trip up and embarrass yourself before the presentation. Then you'll already have been humiliated and the presentation itself won't seem so bad. Patience. Good preparing for things to come. And just working hard enough to stand strong for my results. Usually works, but not 100% times, you know. Don't learn if you don't learn. You know at the beginning THST you will completely fail, and don't get stressed so much because you already know the outcome.